Hello there. So today I'm going to be showing you how to migrate a project from Vercel to Render. And the impetus here is I just recently discovered Render. I think I've seen it before, I've heard about it, but I'd never really gotten a chance to kick the tires. And I picked a quick, simple, single-page web app that was built on Next.js, and I wanted to have a go at seeing how easy it was to get that into Render instead of Vercel. So specifically what I'm going to highlight is the Render MCP client. I'm going to plug that into Claude Code, and Claude Code is going to do the bulk of the work, and it's just going to take a couple minutes to make that happen. So let's get started. So you will see my Claude Code running in a terminal on the right-hand side and the Render dashboard running in the left-hand side. And if I refresh my dashboard here, you can see that I do not have any projects live. And I'm going to show you the app that I'm migrating is basically a caffeine tool. I've really been sleep maxing lately, and I really wanted to get a handle on how my caffeine consumption was affecting my sleep. So I just built this really simple single-page web app, and it's, again, running on Vercel, written on Next.js, but we are going to migrate that now to Render. So in here, I've got a couple of prompts that I'm going to be pasting into Claude Code. And what I'll do is put them in the description of the video so you can see exactly what's going on here. It's nothing crazy. It's just a few preferences and instructions on preparing for a movement to Render and preventing future auto deployments via Vercel. So here's this prompt, and I'm going to punch it into Claude Code here. I am running it on Sonnet 5, so you don't need to use the latest and greatest Fable or Opus or anything like that. The MCP client is already hooked up to my Claude Code instance. I installed that, and you can see a link to the instructions on how to install the Render MCP client in the description of the video. Let's see how long this guy takes to run. Great. So it looks like it completed. We have the new branch Render migration created and pushed to origin. All of our tests passed, and our Vercel deploy, auto deploy was opted out. So we are ready for the next step. The one thing that I want to check, vercel.json, we did prevent the deployment. Okay, perfect. So what this is doing is basically going to prevent auto deployment to Vercel. What you can do later, just to make this more permanent, is go into your Vercel account and disconnect any connections to that repo that you've already established. I'm not going to cover that in the video, but what we'll do just for the time being is to have this setting for vercel.json in here that prevents future auto deployments on this branch. Great. And I have a second prompt here that I'm going to paste in. And I will read through it as well while this thing's running. So the prompt was to deploy this app to Render, create a new web service in my workspace from the GitHub repo using the Render migration branch. It lists the name, the runtime, the build command, the start command, the instance type, and the region. One thing that I did do in this example is I selected the instance type of starter. I'm actually on a free tier instance. So Claude Code did prompt me here and say, hey, you need to add payment if you want to use the starter plan. So I'm going to tell it to use the free plan instead, which is great that it caught this error and it's able to kind of navigate on the fly. I then instructed Claude to follow the deployment through, tail the logs while it builds, and we can actually check here, doing a Control-O to bring up this MCP interaction between Claude Code and Render. And it looks like we did get deploy details. Great. Bam. There you go. Now you can see the deployment live in the Render dashboard. And we are, just a couple minutes into this process. And while that is deploying, I am going to paste a third prompt in here. And I will read that back to you. The prompt is verify the deployment like an SRE would. Check the deploy status, pull the last few minutes of logs, fetch the live URL and confirm that it returns a 200, and grab CPU and memory metrics. Then add a live on Render badge linking the URL at the top of README on this branch and push. Tell me when the redeploy from that push goes live. So we're putting our Render flag up, right? We're putting our stake in the ground. We're letting everybody know that this is not a Vercel project. This is a Render project. All right, so it looks like the project is listed as deployed here. I'm going to tell Claude Code to check again because it previously checked and the project is still building. Great, there we go. Now it's going to do the full SRE verification, and it'll do a second deployment with that Render badge. And finally here, I do have a fourth prompt that we are going to input to kind of finalize everything and make this real. So once this deployment finishes, I'm going to enter this prompt that says open a pull request from Render migration to main titled migrate deployment to Render. In the description, summarize every change on the branch and include the live URL. Once Claude Code is ready, it will ingest that. And I think that's it. We just have to wait for this deployment to go through. I mean, we can check this deployment here. We are live at caffeinecalculator.onrender.com. Bam, look at that. In less than 5 minutes, you have migrated a web app from vercel to render, quick and painless. Claude Code did most of the driving there. I hope this was informative and helpful. If you guys have any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out, in the comment section below, or ping me directly on X. You can reach me at goldhacks. And yeah, so hopefully this was informative, and see you in render.